What is up, everyone? Crunchy Frog here, and we are back with some brand new Modern Warfare 3 news. And today, Season 2 of Modern Warfare 3 dropped here in our seasonal content. It is February 7th as of the recording of this video, and it went live about 9 a.m. Pacific time today. So today I just wanted to give a video to everyone to discuss everything that was added and updated and changed with this season. Basically what I'm going to do is go through the season 2 blog post slash patch notes blog post that they released today. So we'll be covering not only the actual content that came, like maps and guns, but also some of the major changes. I won't be going and dissecting, every single gun buff or gun nerf and things like that. We'll just be covering the major ones. I will be linking this blog post in the description below if you would like to read everything and kind of get an exhaustive list of everything that changed today. And then I'll kind of give my thoughts. I was able to play this for a few hours on stream this evening, so I'll be able to give my thoughts on some of the content listed within. Obviously, I haven't gotten any of the weapons and stuff, so some stuff I won't be able to give thoughts on, but for everything that I have experienced and played, I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of commentary, a little bit of a review on that as well. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit the like button, as it helps a lot of other people find the channel and find my content. If you want to see more stuff like this, I try to do a lot of Modern Warfare 3 news and events and leaks and commentary, stuff like that. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. And as always, if you would like to monetarily support the channel and my content creation, make sure to click the join button below. You get a lot of awesome perks, and once again, you help support the channel monetarily. So with that all out of the way, let's just get right into it. So obviously, at some point during the video here, I'll be putting up the actual, like the roadmap image that they use, just so you guys can see it for a little bit. In the background, I will be giving some gameplay that I got on stream, so that's why my beautiful face will be on all the gameplay you see today. This is ripped just straight from my stream. Kind of a plug there. Go follow my Twitch if you'd like to watch me play Call of Duty live. I play a bunch of other games as well. But anyways, with that all out of the way, let's just dive right into what actually, was added. What did we get here with Season 2? Season 1, we got a bunch of great stuff. So, is Season 2 kind of going to be able to live up to that? So let's get right into it. So the first thing is obviously new maps. That's kind of the bread and butter of these new seasons, the biggest thing that we worry about every single season. We get 3 all-new 6v6 maps. And the first one that we get, Stash House, they actually gave it a 24/7 playlist. So that's pretty cool. So Stash House is basically a small map, kind of like the new Shipment or Meat, these small close quarters maps, very frantic, very, high action, very quickly paced, great for gun level ups and XP grinding and everything like that. And I gotta say, I played this a couple times on stream, probably 4 matches, maybe 5 matches, and I love it. Already I love it. Obviously it'll take a few dozen hours to really get a feel for the map 100%, to be able to do some kind of in-depth review of the map, but as of right now, I really like it. It's in kind of a cool, it kind of reminds me of Raid from Black Ops 2, kind of the setting it's in. It says it's a Bay Area stash house. But very cool, pretty cool aesthetically. It plays pretty well. I've enjoyed the hell out of it so far. So definitely kudos to Sledgehammer on giving us another great small map to grind some stuff out on. Next up is Vista. Now, I have not played this. I played the normal map rotation for probably a good hour, trying to hit, have this come up. It did not. So as of the recording, I can't give you a great detail, but it says it's a Brazilian mountaintop resort with gift shops and restaurants. Perfect environment for all playlists. And then obviously we also got Departures, which is the departures area of the Zakhaev International Airport. So almost a different area of terminal, it sounds like. A clean and competitive 6v6 map with areas of all ranges of combat. So again, 3 great 6v6 maps. I've not played the other 2. I've heard some pretty decent things about it. I haven't heard too many people complain about them, but I have played Stash House and I absolutely love it. And they kind of surprised us with this last week in their preview blog post, but we are also in season getting a remaster or remake, however you want to call it, of Das House, which obviously, if you remember, was from Vanguard. It's another one of those small, frantic maps. I think that one was modeled after like the White House, like a German training facility for the White House. And I think they're remastering it, changing it up. Now it's on like a construction skyscraper in the vicinity of high rise, it says. So another, remaster map. So we're getting a total of 4 6v6 maps, which is just awesome. Kudos to Sledgehammer. This is what we asked for. The roster of maps is just growing crazy. They'll probably mention later they're also adding Modern Warfare 2 maps back. I'm just loving it. This is one thing that the game has done very, very well. We talk a lot of shit on this game, and rightfully so, but the map offering has just been incredible. 16 greatly remastered maps to launch, and they're adding at least 3, if not more, 6v6 maps every season. So by the end of this year's life cycle, we're bound to have tons of great maps to play through. So absolutely love it. Shout out to Sledgehammer. They've also added a new war map, which, as you know, I talked in my review, I talked about in Season 1. I was sad that no new map was coming. They added finally a new operation for war mode, which I really enjoy war mode. It's a great change of pace, to hop into a couple matches of war, to kind of mix up your night and, provide some fun. And so the new map, or I guess operation, however you want to phrase it, is Operation Tin Man. And again, this is a linear, objective-driven experience. And I've played this. I think we played 2 matches, so one as the attacker, one as the defender. Actually, I think 3, because we played 2 as the defender. So it's really cool. You progress down the skyscraper and then into the ground beneath it, and there's really cool objectives in it, and there's zombies in it, like actual zombies that spawn on a map. It's just very cool, and they did a lot of unique stuff to it. They didn't just cookie cutter objectives, easy stuff that they could have thrown together in a week's time and been done with it. No, they actually seemingly put some care into it, and it's really cool. Pair that with the already great war map that they gave us on launch, and we have 2 pretty great experiences to go to. Now, I'd like 3, 4, maybe even 5 of these maps to really vary it up, so, you're always constantly playing something new. But the second offering here with Operation Tin Man is great. I had a great time with it, and I look forward to playing it a lot more this season. They've also introduced a bunch of new modes. Horde Point, which you might be seeing gameplay of as well in the background. I played just 1 match of this to check it out. I haven't played it, I think, ever. I didn't play it when it was in the last game. I think maybe Black Ops 4. But basically, it's Hard Point. But then there's also zombies there, and when I was playing it, they were dropping power-ups and pack-a-punch weapons, and it truly felt like they upped the zombie aspect of it, but at its core, it's still Hardpoint. So it was a unique mode. I'd have to play a little bit more to see if I really enjoy it, but it's very unique, of an experience. It's definitely far removed from your team deathmatch or, standard free-for-all match or something like that. Next up is Team Gun Game, which I'm not sure I understand the thought process behind this, but it's just normal games now, but with, you progress through a series of weapons. First team to reach the score limit wins. So I'm not sure how that plays out, because obviously that used to be like a free-for-all experience. Now it's with teams. So very interesting. I have not played this yet, but I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. Now, in season, we have the Snipers Only playlist, which always a fan favorite. I even enjoy doing. I hate sniping typically, but I enjoy the Sniper Only playlist to hop in and kind of have that novelty of everyone, kind of like the old private lobbies back in Modern Warfare 2 way back in 2009. Gives off that same vibe, so I'll definitely be hopping into this whenever they introduce it. Also Juggermosh, which all Juggernaut combat all the time, so everyone has Juggernaut armors. Matches kill confirmed, domination, hardpoint, so that could be pretty cool. That has the potential to be a fun little party mode. Next up is Bounty, which the player with the most kills from each team will be marked as a high-value target. The high-value target alternates on the time interval and rewards extra points when killed. So, doesn't seem too crazy or special, but at the very least, that will be coming in season. Now, as always, there will be new weapons added to the game, which if you haven't gotten your Interstellar camo yet, this is great news because these are hopefully a couple more easy weapons, assault rifles, submachine guns, stuff like that, that if you're struggling with some of the more niche weapon categories, this will add to that 36 total for you and hopefully, make it so that you don't have to, really grind yourself out on some terrible weapons. You can use these new, easier to use weapons instead. So the first is the BP-50, which is essentially the F-2000 assault rifle. We've seen that in some of the key art and announcement art before. That is coming to the game. It's already in the game in the Battle Pass. The Ram 9, which is a submachine gun, that's also in the Battle Pass. They're bringing the SOA Subverter, which is a battle rifle. And that'll be coming, obviously, in season. And then they're giving us a melee weapon, the Soul Render. And that's in season, if I didn't mention that already. So we get one assault rifle, one submachine gun, one battle rifle with the three most popular classes of weapon. Some people have said they're kind of tired of the same weapon class getting more and more and more weapons, but I'm fine with that. These are all the weapon classes that I actually like to use, so I'll enjoy unlocking these, leveling them up, and getting Interstellar for these guns as well. So super pumped for all of that. They've also added new aftermarket parts, which, as you know, completely change the weapon whenever you add them. There's the Jack Burnout, which gives the Holger 26 an adverse fire mode that provides a dramatically increased fire rate, but will overheat and expand the barrel, introducing increased recoil over time. So it almost sounds like a minigun of sorts, right? Where it's super high fire rate, but it starts really making recoil crazy. That sounds like it could be really cool, a really cool addition to the game and kind of the meta as well. There's the Jack Tyrant 762. It's just a caliber conversion kit for the longbow. So that's pretty cool. And a harder hitting subsonic weapon. That's interesting. So it'll be subsonic now, and that is once more the longbow. Next up is the backsaw kit for the Holger 5.56. And that gives a high capacity drum magazine side-by-side double barrel. So another double barrel attachment for a fully automatic weapon, which is awesome, allowing the weapon to fire 2 bullets at once. So we'll see how broken that is once we finally get that. And again, these are all weekly challenges, by the way, aside from the Jack Burnout. So the next up is the Limb Ripper. It's basically just says this is an underbarrel chainsaw, which makes quick and messy work of anyone foolish enough to stand in your way. So it's just a kind of like a bayonet of sorts, it sounds like. And it doesn't say, I think it's just an attachment, so it can go on pretty much any weapon, I believe. The Jack Maglift kit for the Haymaker. New binary trigger and reinforced magwell to accommodate the extra large 410 drum mag. This kit is a room clearing machine. So I'm not sure what that is, just different ammunition. I'm not sure if that means like more pellets or wider spread. It doesn't really explain it too well, so my apologies for that. But definitely cool to give something to the Haymaker because the gun sucks ass right now. So next up we have the Jack Outlaw 277 for the Bass B. Turns it into a lever action rifle, slowing fire rate but vastly improving accuracy. So that's interesting. Converting the Bass B, which is one of my favorite battle rifles, into a lever action rifle. That will be interesting to see. We have the Jack Glassless Optic, projected dot and state-of-the-art stabilization that reduces visual recoil. So that's really cool. One, super clear sight picture and less visual recoil. So we'll have to see if that comes with any downsides, but that definitely sounds like that could be overpowered even. Just an absolute beast of an attachment. Possibly the best optic we have in the game in terms of red dot sights. There's a new perk, the Ninja Vest. Obviously, that cuts out your footstep sounds, makes you immune to movement reduction effects. So whenever you get stunned, you can still run just as fast. Shuriken and throwing knife ammo, and those actually regenerate every 25 seconds. So if you're really into throwing knives, stuff like that, this is your vest. Obviously, this makes covert sneakers kind of null and void. It doesn't really say how that plays off of one another, if you equip both at the same time, but we'll just have to see. Obviously, some new operators. We got Rick Grimes and Michonne from The Walking Dead, which I've never watched. I know a lot of people are happy to see this. I could kind of really care less. But then we're also getting Laswell from the campaign, obviously, and then John Doe, which just describes him as a bound to an eternal cycle of war. Some souls can never find peace. And John Doe is strictly Black Cell. And Michonne will be released in season, but again, she's part of that Walking Dead kind of crossover event. So there's new events that will be coming throughout the season. We have Horde Hunt, basically hunting down featured zombie types in that Horde Point mode. Year of the Dragon, so that's going to be another, XP grinding event. It sounds like Cryptid Boot Camp. Doesn't provide, it's all just flavor text here, so it doesn't really say what it'll be. So I'm just going to kind of read off, the names of these because I can't really describe them any better for you. But there will be a Walking Dead, Fear the Living, Vortex Decays Realm. I think the Vortex is once again, where they give you the crazy maps and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll have to see what's going on with that. And then finally, Dune Roll of Fate. So I'm assuming that's a Dune crossover event as well. So they also go on kind of the updates or the patch itself. They go on to say it includes substantial adjustments to some core attributes of weapons in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Sorry about that. This was prompted by player feedback, so they're at the very least listening to us. And I know the very first one that they mentioned here has been a massive thorn in my side, and that's ADS Idle Sway. So to kind of give you an idea before I explain this, the instant that you aim down sight, there's been a lot of videos that break this down much better than I'm going to, but I'm going to give you a quick 2-second, little rundown. Idle Sway was immediately active and it threw off your initial aim. You also didn't aim in immediately like dead center. It was like a little off because it already started you in the sine wave of the, sway motion and animation. So that kind of threw off your initial aim, made it a little more RNG. They've now changed that. So I'm just going to read through what they have here. While players aim down sight, idle sway is active. This mechanic discourages players from holding their sights for an extended period of time with a constant, subtle motion that introduces slight inaccuracy. ADS idle sway now initiates shortly after aiming down sight rather than immediately, introducing a delay to the sway curve that is generally 5 milliseconds long but varies by weapon. Note, sniper rifles are not included in this change. So this is huge because your initial aim down sight point is much more accurate. And I've already noticed in the 2 hours that I've played tonight that my accuracy is a lot better. Like I feel more in control. I feel like whenever I aim down sight on somebody, my aim is more true. I'm hitting the exact point where I think I should be aiming. Stuff like that. It's taken a lot of RNG out of it, and gunfights feel better. And I feel a better player because I'm not hampered as much by kind of this, RNG in the background. Where's my aim actually going to go down? It's going to start swinging immediately. And it says, after the initial delay, ADS idle sway now gradually increases over a 3-second period before reaching peak speed, rather than beginning at full speed upon aiming down sight. So this is huge as well. This kind of drastically reduces the ADS idle sway for the first about 3 seconds that you're aimed down sight, which for most gunfights, they're between 0 seconds and 3 seconds. So unless you're really like holding a corner or something like this drastically reduces that RNG-based ADS idle sway, which everyone's accuracy should be so much better after this update. I know mine was, like I said, gunfights felt so much better tonight. Like it was a notable difference. Like something that almost every gunfight I made a comment to either myself or my buddy, that I was playing with. Like we noticed it right away. He's mouse and keyboard, I'm controller, and we both noticed huge improvements. So thank you so much, Sledgehammer, for listening to us. This just almost single-handedly changes the game, in my opinion. And once again, sniper rifle is not included in this. ADS idle sway now consistently begins from the position of a player's hipfire crosshair, rather than along the sway curve. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. Right away, you're not aiming down sight to a random point. You're aiming down sight dead center to the center of your hipfire crosshair, and then it's going to start swaying. So big change, a lot less RNG on that initial aim down sight. When you initially lock onto a target, you aim down sight at the target. There's a lot less RNG. You're not going to be a couple millimeters off to the right or a couple millimeters up and to the left. It's going to stay true, and then it's going to start swinging. So a lot more like old Call of Duty, and that it did. It honestly felt more like the golden age of COD. More skill intensive, like, if you're good at aiming, this will help. It's not so RNG. And I know they included those RNG factors back in the day to kind of help new players because, there's always the possibility that you'll win a gunfight because the other guy aimed down sight and the RNG just, had him start, a couple millimeters up and to the left of where he thought he was going to be firing. Therefore, he missed one or two shots that he wouldn't have otherwise. Therefore, the other guy wins the gunfight that probably didn't deserve to win the gunfight. That's no longer, a thing. And it even comes out and says, these changes ensure that players with fast reflexes and precise aim aren't disadvantaged the moment they aim down sight. That sentence right there is huge. I mean, that is something that I've wanted to hear from these devs for so long. That is amazing. They're slowly picking apart, these little things that they had added to the game to just kind of baby new players or baby worse players, and they're just slowly introducing skill back into the game. It's a lot less RNG. It's a lot less, BS that you have to contend with. If you're good at the game, you're good at the game. You're going to win gunfights. Obviously, skill-based matchmaking is still in it and probably always will be, but they're slowly dismantling these stupid little game mechanics that they had introduced over the last couple of years, and I'm here for it. I'm so happy. Like I can't even I can't even put into words. Like this change single-handedly, along with the next one I'm about to talk about here, have improved my experience with the game tenfold at least. And I've only played 2 hours of it, so. And next up, just to kind of tie into that so you can know what I'm talking about as well, there's another thing that they changed that was absolutely terrible in this hipfire crosshair sway. The trajectory of weapon bullets is represented by the hipfire crosshair position on a player's screen. Now, previously, the crosshair was influenced by the direction of the weapon, causing the firing direction to deviate from the center of the screen. Today's changes eliminate the resulting compromise to accuracy without sacrificing the weight and reactivity this motion added. The hipfire crosshair will no longer sway from the center of the screen while the player moves or rotates the camera. Note, where certain stock attachments may reintroduce this behavior, this is unintentional. We'll correct these as they come up. Weapon bullet trajectory is now truly aligned with the hipfire crosshair and thus the center of the player's screen. Again, bringing it back to how COD used to be. They've taken out more of this RNG, swaying back and forth. This little mechanic that they're talking about here with the hipfire crosshair was also mentioned in some of the videos that I talked about before. I don't remember each individual creator and each individual video title to be able to link them here, but I watched several that go over, why isn't your aim as good? Why do you feel like you're missing shots that you really shouldn't be? Why sometimes does it feel like you're always just off center? And this is why, between the idle sway stuff that we talked about before and the fact that your hipfire crosshair kind of like swayed back and forth, had a little bit of like physics and momentum associated with it. No, now it's dead true, like shooters always have been, and the way God intended. And it's just so much better. Again, like they say here in a highlighted box on the screen, these changes reward skillful aim. Simply put, where you're aiming is where your bullets will go. Thank you so much, devs. I mean, this is huge. This is something that the community has been complaining about. Little changes like these that we've all built up these cases against Activision and against the COD devs of, them rigging the game to, make it more random and more advantageous for worse players. And they're coming out not only admitting to it, but physically changing it. Not giving that BS of like, well, it's a design decision that we really like and we hear your feet. No, they changed it. Before they even addressed it or apologized about it or whatever, they just straight up changed it. And they come out and admit like, hey, listen, we weren't rewarding skill enough earlier. Now we are. And that is huge. That if you come away from anything from this video, it's that these changes might fundamentally change the Call of Duty experience. Because every gunfight that you get in this game will be benefited by those 2 or 3 changes that I mentioned above. And they say, obviously looking ahead, please take some time to adjust to these changes and let us know how you feel. We're going to monitor feedback, blah, 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 blah. So they go through, I'm not going to go through all of these patch changes, but they have made some improvements to the user interface. They've decreased the kill feed line duration. They've decreased the kill feed line fade duration, like little things like that. Detailed stat comparisons are now available for base weapons in the gunsmith. A whole lot of bug fixes for the UI, thank God. Gameplay, they have adjusted an issue causing field of view to be set higher, which I've heard a couple people complain about, so that's great. And, players will no longer dive while using the slide-only option, which I would hope so. There's also, and this is another big change to the overall gaming experience and everything, decreased delay before health regeneration begins from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. So they drastically improved how much quicker you start regaining health, and they drastically increased the health regeneration time. So not only are you healing quicker, you're healing like a lot more rapidly, like you're getting a lot more health. So it takes a lot less time for you to get back to full health. They've also readjusted health regeneration to better match the pace of gameplay. So it only would take about 5 seconds to heal from 1 health back up to 150, down from the previous about 7.7, which is a drastic change. A lot of times we see updates like this, patches, little buffs or nerfs, and it's like, a half second here, a quarter second there, whatever the case may be. This is 2.7 seconds. Roughly 33, maybe even more than 33% of the time it took you to heal has been hacked off the top. And that's awesome. That is incredible. And it already plays better. It feels a little better. Obviously, I can't give a detailed analysis of the pros and cons of this, but so far it feels good. They went through and fixed some progression issues around certain weapons and attachments not unlocking. Added missing laser attachments to the Gilded Camo Challenge for marksman rifles. There were some that just wouldn't track, and different things like that. A big thing here to note in terms of maps, they have added the Modern Warfare 2 carry forward maps to the quick play rotation. So obviously we get high rise. Or I'm sorry, wait, that's a different section. That's my bad. But yeah, just so you guys know, they took all of the carry forward maps that they've added to the game. They're now in a quick play rotation. As a matter of fact, I played in the quick play rotation again, trying to get those other 6v6 maps that were introduced this season. And I played almost exclusively Modern Warfare 2 maps. So, like the ones introduced from last year. So that was pretty cool. Had a really good game on the Grand Prix map. I forget what it's called. And had a fun experience on Farm 18. So glad to be able to play those. And again, we're just growing out this ever-expanding pool of maps. And this is what I want Call of Duty to be. Just grab all this good stuff together. If you're going to make this a glorified expansion, you might as well bring a lot more stuff over. And that quick play rotation has to have like close to 30 or more maps in it right now. So that's awesome. And again, a whole bunch of, various exploits are fixed, and different things like that. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of those. They did decrease the melee lunge distance of all Modern Warfare 3 weapons to kind of bring them down to Modern Warfare 2 standards. So, you're not going to have some crazy commando lunges anymore. They've also increased the movement speed of all the Modern Warfare 2 weapons to align with Modern Warfare 3 standards. So they're kind of balancing out, making Modern Warfare 2 weapons a little more viable and vice versa. They've also added gun kick control and recoil control benefits in tac stance for all weapons, so tac stance will be a little more accurate, and everything like that. And then obviously there's like a whole list of just I keep scrolling here, like nerfs and buffs. I'm not going to go over all of those. Check out somebody like Exclusive Ace. He usually does in-depth reviews of all of these and, kind of goes over what guns change, what guns feel better, blah, blah, blah. They've also had a couple of nerfs and buffs to the various field upgrades, usually, time to deploy, and stuff like that. Kill streaks, the Juggernaut Recon, the oxygen meter will now display while underwater, so that was a big bug. and different things like that. They've also, went ahead and made some changes to ranked play for its first full season. So obviously new seasonal rewards, stuff like that for season 2 to get you playing in the ranked play there. And obviously they did remove Skid Row and they added Rio, which is a really fun map from season 1 Reloaded. They've also removed Terminal from Hardpoint, added Rio, and added Subbase. It was previously removed. So yeah, they just go over some basic things like that. They've also went ahead and changed the amount of SR earned after win early on in ranked play journey have been increased. And they do this, it says here, to kind of elevate you to your intended skill division quicker. If you're continuously racking up kills, it shouldn't take you 3.5 days to get to silver, if you're a really good player. So this is going to help pull the good players out of the lower ranks and put them where they should be and leave bronze and silver, for bronze and silver players. They've also said to increase competitiveness of the top 250 and reduce SR inflation. The amount of SR deducted after losses for players who are well beyond their intended skill division has been increased substantially. So, if you kind of find yourself in a division you probably shouldn't have gotten to, if you start losing, you'll fall back. I don't know how they determine where you should be. I don't know how they say, oh, you shouldn't be in the top 250. Let's get you back where you belong. I don't know how that works, but, it is what it is. I guess they're assuming you won't lose that often whenever you're in that top. I have no idea. Obviously, at the end of each season, they kind of reset your skill division to, see where you go. They just knock you back a few ranks, so you don't lose all progress, but, knock you back a little bit, so you have to grind back up. Obviously, some more rewards for ranked play and everything like that. Now, there is some content coming for zombies, nothing at launch. But there is new content coming in season. But they have, just made some tweaks, increased drop chains for ammo pouches, stuff like that. And obviously weapons introduced in season 1 have been added to the loot pool, but nothing crazy, just some patches, and nerfs and buffs for various items and everything in zombies, but nothing crazy. They like it says, they say there's going to be in content season. I think new story mission, new Dark Ether rifts, schematics, and more, but nothing on launch. And that's about it for zombies. Now, obviously, as you guys know, I don't cover anything for Warzone. They don't even mention Warzone in this. But obviously, Fortune's Keep is a huge thing, and all that is coming for Warzone. So if you enjoy Warzone, I apologize, I'm not going to cover it here. But yeah, overall, a really, really good update. Both in terms of content and stuff that they fixed. Like I said, the stuff with the aiming, adding more skill back into the game instead of just RNG, hoping and praying that your aim goes where you want it, is, I can't state how huge that is. Short of removing skill-based matchmaking from the game, that is the biggest thing that they could do to bring this back to feeling like the old school golden age of Call of Duty. And I mean that with 100% honesty. Big shout out, like I said, to Sledgehammer developers. Thank you so much for listening to our feedback, kind of getting in our heads and realizing what the community actually wants and starting to peel back those layers of the quote unquote participation trophies for bad players, making it just fair, not necessarily, more random so that everybody has a chance, but just more fair. If you're good at the game, you're going to do well, stuff like that. And I only hope that this is the tip of the iceberg and they'll be, pulling back more layers here, especially with skill based. Now, I will say, I have no evidence to back this up. The devs have not said anything on this. I have heard several reports, and it could be anecdotal, it could be placebo effect, that skill base has kind of eased up a little bit. Tonight, it kind of felt like that. I had a lot more random feeling matches. I didn't feel as punished or as gifted after a bad match or anything like that. It kind of felt a little more organic. Again, could be placebo just because they talked about it last week or the week before or whatever. Doesn't necessarily mean they actually changed anything. But just knowing that they are kind of experimenting here and there with zero skill-based or more lax skill-based algorithms is enough to maybe make me think that some of these claims have some grit to them. And it did feel a little better tonight. So that's maybe something that, again, maybe they're looking into possibly changing for us. But yeah, the maps are great. The guns are going to be super cool to unlock. I'm super excited to use all those. Super excited to play on the other two maps I didn't get to play tonight. And honestly, the new small shipment style map is incredible. So honestly, Season 2 has hit it out of the park for me. I think it's drastically improved the Modern Warfare 3 experience. Still a bit away from being a great game, but definitely a lot more enjoyable than it was on launch day, that's for sure. So thanks so much, guys, for sticking around. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and let me know down there in the comments below what you think of Season 2. You know, check out the patch notes. Let me know what changes you're excited for, what changes you wish they had made, stuff like that. And yeah, other than that, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.